One day back there in the good old days, when I was 9 years old, and the world was full of magnificence, and life was a delightful and mysterious dream, my cousin, Morad, who was 13, came to my house at 4 in the morning, and woke me up tapping the window of my room.
Aram.
I jumped out of the bed, and looked out of the window. I couldn't believe what I saw. Morad was sitting on a beautiful white horse. I rubbed my eyes.
Yes. It's a horse. You're not dreaming. Make it quick, if you want to ride.
My cousin Murad enjoyed being alive, more than anybody else. But this was more than I could believe. In the first place, my first memories and desires were about horses, and riding them. But in the second place, we were poor. That's why I couldn't believe what I saw. Our Garoglanian family was living in the most comical poverty in the world. But we were famous for honesty. Consequently, even though I could see the horse, smell it, hear it breathing, I couldn't believe that the horse had anything to do with Murad, or me, or any other member of our family. Because Murad couldn't have bought the horse, as we were poor. And he couldn't have stolen it, as we were honest.
Murad, where did you steal this horse?
Leap out of the window, if you want to ride.
It was true, then. He had stolen the horse. Well, it seemed to me that stealing a horse for a ride was not the same thing stealing something else. If you were crazy about horses, it wasn't stealing. It would be stealing only if we offered to sell the horse.
Let me put on some clothes.
It's me. I looked cute, didn't I?
All right, but hurry.
Here we lived on Walnut Avenue. Behind our house was the countryside, vineyards, orchards, irrigation ditches, and country roads. After 3 minutes, we were on Olive Avenue. The horse began to run. Murad began to sing. I mean, roar. Every family has a crazy streak in it. My cousin Murad was considered the natural descendant of the crazy streak in our tribe. Before him was our uncle, Korov, a giant man with a large head and mustache. He was furious, so irritable, and so impatient, that he would stop anyone talking by saying,
"It is no harm. It is no harm. Pay no attention to it. Pay no attention to it."
That was all, no matter what anybody happened to be talking about. One day, his own son, Eric, ran to the barber's shop, where his father was having his mustache trimmed.
Dad, our house is on fire.
It is no harm. Pay no attention to it.
But the boy says, your house is on fire.
Enough. It is no harm.
My cousin Murad was considered the natural descendant of this man. On the other hand, Murad's father, Zorab, was a practical man. That's how it was in our tribe. A man could be the father of his son's flesh, but that did not mean that he was also the father of his son's spirit. We rode a horse and Murad sang. At last.
Get down. I want to ride alone.
Will you let me ride alone?
This is up to my horse. Get down.
The horse will let me ride.
We shall see. Don't forget that I have a way with the horse.
Well, if you have a way with the horse, I have also.
Let us hope so. Get down.
All right. But you've got to let me try to ride alone.
I got down, and my cousin Murad kicked his heels into the horse, and shouted, "Vizier, run!" The horse stood on its hind legs, snorted, and burst into a fury of speed. That was the loveliest thing I had ever seen. Murad raced the horse across a field of dry grass, to an irrigation ditch, crossed the ditch on the horse, and 5 minutes later returned, dripping wet.
Ditch, drain.
Now it's my turn.
Ride.
I leapt up on the horse, and, for a moment, felt the most awful fear. The horse didn't move.
Kick into his muscles. What are you waiting for? We have to take him back, before the world is awake.
I kicked. The horse snorted, and then began to run. I didn't know what to do. Instead of running across the field to the irrigation ditch, the horse ran down the road to the vineyard of Dikran Hilabian, where it began to leap over vines. He leapt 7 times, before I fell on the ground. Then it continued running.
I am not worried about you. We've got to get that horse. You go this way, and I'll go this way. If you find him, we kindly. I'll be near.
It took him half an hour to find the horse and bring him back.
The whole world is awake now.
What will we do?
Well, we'll either take him back, or hide him until tomorrow morning.
I knew he'd hide him and not take him back.
Where will we hide him?
I know a place.
How long ago did you steal this horse?
Who said anything about stealing a horse?
Anyhow, how long ago did you begin riding every morning?
Not until this morning.
Are you telling the truth?
Of course, not. But if we're found out, that's what you're to say. I don't want both of us to be liars. All you know is that we started riding this morning.
All right.
He walked the horse quietly to the barn of a deserted vineyard, which had been of a farmer named Fetvagian. There were some oats and dry alfalfa in the barn. We began walking home.
It was not easy to get the horse behave so nicely. At first, it wanted to run wild. But, as I've told you, I have a way with the horse. I can make it want to do anything that I want it to do. Horses understand me.
How do you do it?
I have an understanding with the horse.
Yes, but what kind of understanding?
A simple and honest one.
Well, I wish I knew how to reach an understanding like that with the horse.
You're still a small boy. When you get to be 13, you'll know how to do it.
In the afternoon, Uncle Korov came to my house. He sat in the living room, sipping coffee and smoking, and remembering the old country. Then another visitor arrived, a farmer named John Biro. He was a Syrian, but he had to learn Armenian, because everyone in our tribe was Armenian. My mother brought coffee and tobacco for him.
My white horse, which was stolen last month, is still gone. I cannot understand it.
It's no harm. What is the loss of a horse? Haven't we all lost the homeland? What's this crying over a horse?
That may be all right for you, a city dweller, I say, but what about my Surrey?
Surrey, carriage.
What good is a Surrey without a horse?
Pay no attention to it.
I walked 10 miles to get here.
You have legs.
My left leg pains me.
Pay no attention to it.
That horse cost me $60.
I spit on money.
John Biro got up and stalked out of the house, slamming the door.
He has a gentle heart. It is simply that he is homesick, and such a large man.
He ran away, and went to my cousin Murad's house. And I went to Murad, who was sitting under a peach tree, trying to repair the hurt wing of a robin bird.
Keep calm, little bird. What?
The farmer, John Biro. He visited our house. He wants his horse. You've had it a month. I want you to promise not to take it back until I learn to ride.
It will take you a year to learn to ride.
We could keep the horse for a year.
What? Are you inviting a member of the Garadlanian family to steal? The horse must go back to its true owner.
When?
In 6 months, at the latest.
He threw the bird into the air. Finally, it flew away. Early every morning for 2 weeks, my cousin Murad and I took the horse out of the deserted vineyard, and rode it. When it was my turn to ride alone, The horse leaped over grapevines and small trees, threw me and ran away. Nevertheless, I hoped to learn to ride the way my cousin Murad rode. One morning, when we were taking the horse back to Fetvagian's deserted vineyard, we ran into the farmer, John Biro, who was on his way to town.
We're dead.
Let me do the talking. I have a way with farmers. Good morning, John Biro.
Good morning, son of my friends. What is the name of your horse?
My heart.
A lovely name for a lovely horse. I could swear it is the horse that was stolen from me many weeks ago. May I look into his mouth?
Of course.
Tooth for tooth. I would swear it's my horse, if I didn't know your parents. The fame of your family for honesty is well known to me. Yet the horse is twin of my horse. A suspicious man would believe his eyes instead of his heart. Good day, my young friends.
Good day, John Biro.
The next morning, we took the horse to John Biro's vineyard and put it in the barn. The dogs followed us around without making a sound.
I thought they would bark.
They would, at somebody else. I have a way with dogs.
The next morning, John Biro came to our house with a surrey and showed my mother his horse. The horse that was stolen and returned.
I don't know what to think. The horse is stronger than ever and better tempered too. I thank God.
Quiet, man, quiet. Your horse has been returned. Your horse has been returned. Pay no attention to it. Pay no attention to it. Pay no attention.